make sure that they're all heard. So let's do that now and strum our E major chord. Now that sounds like it should sound, and hopefully yours sounds the same. If not, your guitar may be out of tune, so check out that tuning video. However, we also want to make sure that all 6 strings are ringing out, by which we want to pick the thickest to the thinnest string, so string 6 to 1. And if they all sound like that, then we're doing it correctly. Possibly one of the strings sounds a little bit like this. We get a little bit of either buzzing or it's not ringing out at all like this. There are 2 common reasons that that can be the case. The first thing is you need to be at this side of the fret, as I said at the start of the video. If they're in the middle of the fret, that may not ring out. They all want to be at this side of the fret, not at the far side. And then each finger also needs to be right on the tip, not flat. Now this is common because whenever we hold things, say if I was just holding this guitar neck to pick it up, we'd grip it like this. But this is not how we press down notes on a stringed instrument. We need to be right on the tips of our fingers and make sure that this joint in our fingers is bent and kind of curled over so that each tip of the finger is at 90 degrees to the fret. And when those 2 things are the case, when we're at this side of the fret and on the tips of our fingers, it's just a case of getting that right amount of pressure down, but with the right finger placement, it may be a little bit less than you think. Now, even I, at this point, have some lines on the end of my fingers. This is normal. We do have to press down, a decent amount to get the note ringing out, but try not to press down any more than you need to. Try and find that sweet spot. The second chord we're going to cover in this video is the A major chord, and with this chord we can play any one of 10 songs. As I say, there'll be a song at the end of this particular video, but there are a number of songs, 10 songs, that are played only using these 2 chords on my website, and the link to that is also in the description. So to play the A major chord, it's best to start off on the E major chord that we already know. Now we need to keep this first finger down but lift the other 2 away. And this is really important. This is going to be our anchor finger, because when we're learning chords, the hard thing isn't necessarily playing one chord, it's the change between. So what we're going to do is keep this first finger down but slide it over to the 2nd fret, and this time we want to be around in the middle of the fret because we're going to place the middle finger above it at that same 2nd fret and the 3rd finger directly below it. And this is the A major chord. You may have seen this chord played like this. However, if this is the first time you've ever picked up a guitar before, it's going to be incredibly difficult to change between any chords, and these included. So we're making this as easy as possible by keeping contact with the fretboard at all times and using that first finger as an anchor point. So this is the A major chord that we're going for. Let's place this first finger at the 3rd string, 2nd fret, 1, 2. Middle finger goes directly above it and 3rd finger below it. And it's best to keep that first finger around in the middle of the fret this time, and this time only really, so that we can fit the other 2 in. And with this particular chord, we want to strum from string 5. And this is what the A major chord should sound like. To check that all those strings are ringing out, we want to pick again from the thickest to the thinnest, but we're going to start from string 5. There is more opportunity for strings not ringing out on this one, so again try and get them as far towards you as possible and keep right on the tips. That is the best way to get them ringing out, but you may have to press on just a little bit harder on this chord to get those strings ringing out. One more time, strum, pick each string, and strum. So to change between those chords, we need to keep that first finger down at all times and change between them. So if we go back to the E major chord now, and just give it one single strum of all 6 strings, we keep the first finger down, slide to the 2nd fret, middle finger above, 3rd finger below, and strum. And then to change back, the first finger stays down, slide it back to that 1st fret, middle finger above, 3rd finger below, and strum. Again, so we're on that first chord that we looked at now, the E chord. So we keep the first finger down, we slide it to the second fret for the second chord that we looked at, middle finger above, third finger below, and strum. Try and strum from the 5th string, so missing out the thickest string. But if you do accidentally catch that thickest string, it's okay for now. We're just learning. First finger stays down, we move back to the 1st fret for our first chord, which is the E major, and strum, and that's our E major. Now you may wish to pause the video here so that you can have a little bit longer practice between those two chords, changing between the E and the A chord. Remember to keep your first finger down at all times. And the first chord we looked at has your first finger on the 1st fret. And then chord number 2, the A chord, first finger 2nd fret, middle finger above, 3rd finger below, and strum. And you're wanting your fingers to take around a second to go to each chord to move on to the second.
If you do not want to progress on guitar in the fastest way possible, then I want you to hit the skip button and skip this video. Seriously, if you do not want to be able to
part, which is basically going straight for our first song, which is a song called For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield. This song has just these 2 chords, and we have to play each chord for a bar of each. To do this, we need to understand about bars and beats. The beat is whatever you would nod your head to when your favorite song comes on. So when you're kind of grooving along to a song and tapping your foot and enjoying it, you're tapping your feet or nodding your head to the beat. This is an even pulse throughout the song, and it generally goes to a count of 4. So an even count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is repeated throughout an entire song evenly. It's that count of 4 that we call a bar. So the simplest strumming pattern we can do for any song is just strumming on the beat, and we're going to strum each chord in this particular song 4 times. So we strum the E chord 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and keep that first finger down when we're going to change to the second chord, which is the A chord, and then strum this 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need to change back to the E chord and do this in a loop for around a minute. And if you've never heard that particular song that we're going for, the link is in the description to a YouTube video of the song, so you can have a quick listen to it to hear what we're going for. And you should pretty distinctly hear this rhythm guitar part throughout the entire song. Now keeping the strumming hand going while changing chord is undoubtedly the trickiest part of learning songs on guitar. However, this anchor finger, keeping the first finger down, makes it a much easier task and helps us going forward to learn the other chords that we're going to be learning in the coming days. So drilling this change is so important rather than learning more chords. So many beginners get a book full of 10 chords or 100 chords and try and learn them, but it's mastering the change between them that's going to get you the end goal of being able to play real songs as soon as possible. And hopefully this will be one that you can play just in a few minutes now by following me. So let's start with the E major chord, the first chord we covered in this video, and we're going to strum this 4 times. And soon as we've done that, as soon as we strum that 4th strum, we want to change immediately to the A chord as swiftly as possible. Now, if this takes a few attempts, and that is totally fine, because this is the end goal of this first video, of this day 1 of this 10-day guitar course. So if it's a little struggle at first, that's understandable, because it might be the first thing that you've ever done. Go easy on yourself. Allow this trickiest part of this, the chord changes, to bed in and for you to get used to them before you put too much pressure on yourself. So let's play along together really slowly now, and let's have a go at playing our first song, For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield. So we get ready on our E chord, we press down, and we begin strumming in 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, then change to the A chord and begin strumming again. 1, 2, 3, back to the E, changing back, and 1, 2, 3, 4. First finger stays down, we change to the A. 1, 2, 3, 4, and pause there. So now's the time to take stock with how you're doing. If you need to pause the video just briefly one time again to just do some individual changes, which will drill that change a little more often to help you get used to it more. Maybe take a quick break to rest your fingers a little bit, because you might have big lines and they might be quite sore. That's understandable and totally normal in the beginning. And when you feel up to it, play this video from this point one more time. And this time, we're going to try and get those spaces between the chord changes as quick as possible. And the goal is just to keep our right hand strumming evenly. No matter what chord we're playing, or whether there's a change or not, we're just going to try and keep this chord hand strumming, okay? So from the E chord, play along with me one last time in 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, then to A, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, and A, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3. One last time from the E, 2, 3, 4, and A, 2, 3. Finish on E. And that's how to play our first song, and that is the end of day 1 of this 10-day guitar challenge. So thank you very much for making it this far. Your homework now is to practice these 2 chords, the E major and the A major, the changes between them, and then try and play them for 4 strums of the E chord and the 4 strums for the A chord. And we want to keep that chord sequence going for around a minute, and in total that should be around 10 minutes worth of practice. So if you do that straight away after watching this video, you'll be in the perfect position to join me for day 2 tomorrow, where we'll learn a new guitar chord and a new song, and this time the song will have a very easy lead guitar part, which is a bit more of a melody, so we won't just be focusing on chords in this course, we'll also focus on some single string playing as well. It's going to be really cool, it's going to sound just like the song So let's
Hello? Hello? Oh, what? I was muted before? Oh, yeah, whatever. No, that was light work.
chord changes to bed in and for you to get used to them before you put too much pressure on yourself. So let's play along together really slowly now, and let's have a go at playing our first song, For What It's Worth, by Buffalo Springfield. So we get ready on our E chord, we press down, and we begin strumming in 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then change to the A chord and begin strumming again. 1, 2, 3. Back to the E. Changing back, and 1, 2, 3, 4. First finger stays down, we change to the A. 1, 2, 3, 4, and pause there. So now's the time to take stock with how you're doing. If you need to pause the video just briefly one time again to just do some individual changes, which will drill that change a little more often to help you get used to it more. Maybe take a quick break to rest your fingers a little bit because you might have big lines and they might be quite sore. That's understandable and totally normal in the beginning. And when you feel up to it, play this video from this point one more time. And this time, we're going to try and get those spaces between the chord changes as quick as possible. And the goal is just to keep our right hand strumming evenly. No matter what chord we're playing, or whether there's a change or not, we're just going to try and keep this chord and strumming, okay? So from the E chord, play along with me one last time in 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Then to A. A, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And A. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3. One last time from the E. 2, 3, 4. And A. 2, 3. Finish on E. And that's how to play our first song, and that is the end of day 1 of this 10-day guitar challenge.
Yeah, no, bro. We're ready.
If you're still practicing music the same way you did a few years ago, you've got to stop right now. Here's why. Almost every music course...
Hi guys.
Look at that. No, we got the Ed word. Chuck it like that, so it's easier to see. Seems about right.
My name's Andy, and welcome to day 2 of my 10-day guitar starter course, where I'm encouraging absolute beginners to play guitar for 10 minutes a day for 10 days. This is the challenge, and in this video I'm going to be showing you our next chord, which is the D major chord, and we're going to be learning how to play the chords and the melody, the main riff and hook to the song Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. Super recognizable, super
Born in the
great.
USA.
And to do this, we're going to
Miley
do
Cyrus?
the D chord, and the only 2 chords that happen in the whole song are the A chord and the D chord, and we also have a little easy melody, as I say.
D chord.
Let's get straight up for a close-up now on these 2 easy chords. So as a reminder, this is how to play the A chord from the previous lesson. We have our first finger on string 3, fret 2. This is fret 1, this would be fret 2. And we place our middle finger above and our third finger below. An A chord can also be played like this, but I'm encouraging you to play it like this because the first chord we learned was the E, and we can go between the two chords like this. And then this chord that we're learning in this video, the new one in this 10-day course, is the D chord, which we play like this. So to play each one of these chords, we never actually have to lift off that first finger, and therefore it's a lot easier because the harder thing about these chords are the changes. So when you're changing between the chord, the worst thing that can happen is you lift all your fingers off and you don't know where to put them. With one finger down, that tends to be a lot better. So we know this A major chord. If you don't, check out day 1 of this 10-day course. And we're going to learn now this new D major chord, where our first finger is in the same place, but we move it to this side. Our middle finger, or finger 2, goes 2nd fret on the thinnest string, so like this. Notice straight away my fingers are on a little bit of an angle to get them as far to this side of the fret area, which is this area here, and as far this way as possible. And then our third finger goes here to make a triangle shape. The little finger doesn't need to be down, but we're just going to put that right next to the third finger like this. So recap between all those finger positions. Finger 1.
Why does that look so wrong?
Finger 2. And finger 3. And they're all on an angle pointing towards your strumming hand shoulder.
What do you mean? How are you getting it
The
all
thumb
on
can
an
be a
angle?
little bit higher on this chord, but we're not going to use it to mute any strings kind of like this just yet. But we can use it to mute the thickest one like this. The real thing we want to focus on with this D chord is getting the thinnest 4 strings to ring out. So this one we strum from string 4, which is the D string. Our thickest strings are E, A, and D, which are the 3 chords we've learned. This one's the D, so we strum from the D and play the thinner strings and press down like this. And that's what our D chord should sound like. To play Born in the USA, along with lots of other songs that use these 2 chords, we'll just need to change between the A and the D. When we're doing that, we need to keep this first finger down, because that's the advantage of playing this A. So we go back to this A chord, middle finger above, third finger below the string that our first finger is on. Keep that first finger down, lift the other 2 off, and play the D chord that we've just learned. 1, 2, 3, and strum. It's always a good idea to pick each individual string from string 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if they're not ringing out, we need to be more on the tips of our fingers and have them all at this side. And with the D chord, we tend not to have to press on as hard, but you may, if you still are with good positioning, still getting this sound where things aren't ringing out, you just need to press down that little bit harder, but not too hard so that you're getting 2 big lines in your fingers. The small lines in your fingers like this are always unavoidable. So let's just practice this change between A and D a few more times, and then we're going to go for our second song in day 2 of this 10-day guitar course, Born in the USA. So here is our A chord again. We give it a strum. We keep the first finger down, middle finger below, third finger on the 3rd fret, so a little bit more of a stretch, which is where, not being straight with the frets, we want to be on an angle with our thumb just creeping over the top.
The thumb creeping over
That makes
the
this D chord
top.
a lot more comfortable. We keep the first finger down, we lift the other 2 off, and go above and below. First finger stays down, slide it to the good side of the fret. Second finger, third finger, and strum from string 4. Back to the first finger, slide it back a touch, middle finger above and below.
Why play a chord in just one place when you can play it everywhere? Master the cage system with me, Ariana Powell, on artmaster.com and redefine your musical journey. Join my course today.
If you feel that is too tough for you at the moment, please don't give up. Please check out day 1 of this 10-day course, where we'll cover 2 even easier chords and an easier change. So to play Born in the USA in the original key, sort of along to the record, we need something called a capo placed at 2nd fret. For more info about a capo, there's a link in the description to sort of tell you about my recommendations for them, because they are really useful to play songs, especially playing along to the record. And they do only cost, a few pounds or a few dollars, so they're well worthy of an investment, as is a guitar pick. Everything you'll see me playing in this 10-day course, I use a guitar pick. This is my own brand, it's an Andy guitar pick, available on my website, so if you want my recommended one, check that out. But we're going to move on now, and we're not going to use a capo in this demonstration, just in case any of you guys don't have one yet. What we need to do is play each one of these chords for 4 bars. Now, we covered what a bar was in the previous lesson, which was 4 down strums played on the beat. So 1 bar of this A chord is written like this, the A chord with 4 strums, and the vertical lines represent a bar, and we play that A chord like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 even strums, and we want to try and miss out that thickest E string. To play 4 bars of A, we essentially strum 16 times, but we don't want to count to 16. We need to keep counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and we do that 4 times. So as a demonstration, first of all,
Don't count to 16.
1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Fourth bar, 2, 3, 4. And then stop. And this is where we would change to the new D chord, and that would complete this song. We would just do those 2 chords in a loop to play the rhythm guitar version of Born in the USA. We'll learn the recognizable hook of the song in 1 second. We're just covering the chords first. So we need this new D major chord. There's our new D. And again, 4 bars of D, 4 strums for each bar. So 2, 3,
I have
4.
no
There's a demo.
control over
1,
my
2,
rings.
3, 4. Second bar, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Fourth bar, 2, 3, 4. And then we need to change back to the A. And as I say, we do that in a loop. And if you can keep that going for around a minute and keep the strumming hand even, you can play the rhythm part to Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. So let's have a play along together now, starting from the A chord and join in when we get to beat 1. I'll count us in together. Get ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Third bar. Fourth bar, then change to the D. D, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. 4, back to the A chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and 4. Here we go. Change chords. D, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and 4. And pause there. Now again, if this doesn't go as well as you hoped, or you couldn't keep up with me, that's totally fine. That's what the practice time shortly after this video is all about. Mastering this chord change so that the change isn't slowing down your strumming hand. So that's totally fine if that's the case. We'll have 1 more playthrough now before we go along to trying to play this little lead line. But let's go again, and I'll kind of sing along a little bit so you can get how the song would go. Start from the A chord and join in with me in 2, 3, 4. 1. Born in the USA, I was 13. And that's how you play that song. So hopefully it sounded a little bit more like how you recognise Born in the USA would go. But the most recognisable bit of this song is the riff. Now that is very recognisable as the riff. Born in the USA. And we're going to learn how to play that now. So we start off, again, I'm using a pick, but you can play this with just your thumb or even just your first finger and pluck each of the strings, which would be something called fingerstyle, and that's totally fine, but I'd recommend using a pick for now, just to start off with.
Don't have a pick.
So we pick the thinnest string once and let it ring out. Nice and easy. Then we ideally want to use our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string here. And that's the 2nd note. After that we go back to the open string.
I didn't catch that.
And when it's written above here in something, we pick the thinnest string once and let it ring out. Nice and easy. Then we ideally want to use our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string here. And that's the 2nd note.
Second string.
After that we go back to the open string. And when it's written above here in something called tab, that would be written 0 on the thinnest string, 3 on the 2nd thinnest string, and then 0 again on the thinnest. If you need more help about reading tab,
Whoa, slow down,
here.
Mr. Monocle.
And that's the finger on the 3rd fret of the nice and, but I'd recommend using a pick. Let it ring out.
Yeah, I got that.
Nice and easy. Then we ideally want to use our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string here.
Middle finger on the
And that's the 2nd note.
string.
After that we go back to the open string. And when it's written above here in something called tab, that would be written 0 on the thinnest string, 3 on the 2nd thinnest string, and then 0 again on the thinnest. If you need more help about reading tab, the link is in the description to a video where I'll explain exactly how to read all these numbers that are suddenly on lines and look very scary, okay? Totally fine. If you've never come across it before, you'll probably be able to follow me here. But if you'd like to learn how to read tab, that video is there for you. So as a recap, we've gone 0, 3, 0, and the first one needs to ring out longer. Born in the other two are quicker. 4th note, 1st finger on the 2nd string just here. That would be U of USA. And then back to that 2nd note for S. So U, S, and then nice and easy open string finish. A. So we have 6 notes in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that can seem daunting at first, but if we put the lyrics to it, it does become an awful lot easier to get your head around. So we start off with born, thinnest string, in the, one more time with those 3 notes, 3, 4, born, in the, U is 2nd fret with your 1st
The
finger,
wrong strings.
U, middle finger 3rd fret, S, A, together again, 3, 4, born in the USA, born in the USA.
Okay, now I got this. Bro, I can't even play the string. Born in the USA. I need to get some water. so direct. Oh, it's still pretty. Just like I got a sun right now. What up? Why does that sound wrong?
And that repeats almost throughout the entire song. As I say, that sounds exactly like it when played on its own, and you can practice it like that, and it's entirely correct. However, so that you can do this along to the record and it sound correct to the original song, we need to place a capo at 2nd fret like this. This is a certain type of capo. There are many different ones available, and the recommendations are in the description in the video. But now we play everything proportionate to that 2nd fret, so it sounds like this.
Yeah.
This is now in the key of the original because we've hired the strings up. This basically clamps the strings down at 2nd fret. This becomes 1st fret, this becomes 2nd fret, and this 3rd.
Do we have one of those? What's an electric nickel? Electric nickel? And a pen. What are you going to use a pen for? Draw on the guitar. What about this? Definitely have no clips. Wash my clips. Wash my clips. Got no clips. Oh, what was that sound? They got like something with me. Alright. Yeah, seems. Why that sounds so wrong? Oh, it's not ringing. It's like the. Whatever.
Born in the USA.
Sheesh.
And then our two chords. Born in the USA. I was born in the USA. I was. Those two chords are played like this, missing out this first fret and starting from the second fret, playing the A and the D like this. And that is the end of day 2 of this 10-day guitar starter course. Please do join me tomorrow for day 3, where we'll be covering another new song and another...
And how did he do that? I'm gonna go back to when I was doing the chords.
About a capo, there's a link in the description to sort of tell you about my recommendations for them, because they are really useful to play songs. Have one yet. What we need to do is play each one of these chords for 4 bars. Now we covered what a bar was in the previous lesson, which was 4 down strums played on the beat. So 1 bar of this A chord is written like this, the A chord with 4 strums, and the vertical lines represent a bar, and we play that A chord like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 even strums, and we want to try and miss out that thickest E string. To play 4 bars of A, we essentially strum 16 times, but we don't want to count to 16. We need to keep counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and we do that 4 times. So as a demonstration, first of all, 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, 2, 3, 4. Third bar, 2, 3, 4. Fourth bar, 2, 3, 4. And then stop. And this is where we would change to the new D chord, and that would complete this song. We would just do those 2 chords in a loop to play the rhythm guitar version of Born in the USA. We'll learn the recognizable hook of the song in 1 second. We're just covering the chords first. So we need this new D major chord. There's our new D. And again, 4 bars of D, 4 strums for each bar. So 2, 3, 4 as a demo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar. 2.
I think going to A is pretty easy. Going to D is really hard.
3, 4. Fourth bar, 2, 3, 4. And then we need to change back to the A. And as I say, we do that in a loop. And if you can keep that going for around a minute and keep the strumming hand even, you can play the rhythm part to Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. So let's have a play along together now, starting from the A chord and join in when we get to beat 1. I'll count us in together. Get ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Third bar. Fourth bar, then change to the D. D, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. 4. Back to the A chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. 3. And 4, here we go, change chords. D, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. And 4. And pause there. Now again, if this isn't going as well as you hoped, or you couldn't keep up with me, that's totally fine. That's what the practice time shortly after this video is all about. Mastering this chord.
I wonder what the full jam is.
Oh, down in a dead man's town, the first gig I took
Damn.
like a dog, it's been too much till you spend half your life trying to cover it up now. Born in the USA, I was born
Damn. What the frick? How are we doing that?
Hi guys, my name's Andy Crowley and welcome to the playthrough or cover version of the song that we looked at in day 2 of my 10-day guitar course, which is Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. Now the original, to play along to the original record, you'll need a capo 2nd fret, but just in case any of you guys don't have a capo, I'm going to do it without a capo and we're going to be using the chords A and D major for this example. Now you can, we have got the easy little lead line from this song, so
E. What are those letters?
if you wish, every time that I sing, basically the chorus, Born in the USA, you can play Born in the USA, but you can also just strum along with me and it's going to be cool. I'd
Isn't
really
that
recommend
A?
at this point for most people just going for 4 strums for bar, so just 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you do feel a little bit more optimistic, we can go for down, 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 up, which is the one that I'll be playing just to give it a bit more rhythm, make it sound a little bit more up-tempo. But other than that, let's go for
Let's
it.
just
It's
watch.
4 bars of A and then 4 bars of D for the entire song, so most people following my channel should be able to have a really good go at playing along to me for this one. We're also going to start with that intro melody and we're going to play that 4 times as per the original and then get into the strumming. So let's begin with our little melody. You can learn it following the link on the screen or in the description below, but let's start this little playthrough. It's going to last about 3 minutes in total. Let's begin, and we begin on beat 2. So 1, 2. Let's give it a go. 1, 2. That's the first one. One, 2. And the verse. 2, 3, 4. Born down in a dead man's town. The first kick I took was when I hit the ground. And like a dog, it's been too much till you spend half your life trying to cover it up now. Oh, And there it is, guys.
What
There
the
is the full
frick?
playthrough of Born in the USA. That's absolutely fantastic if that was something that you can do, even if you were just strumming on the beat, so kind of 4 strums per bar. Doing that and changing solidly and playing along to me between A and the D chord is all we're expecting at day 2 of my 10-day guitar starter course, and largely all we're expecting really from the second level of my beginner's course. But what you possibly want, especially if there was anything that was still a little bit rocky, a little bit shaky, is to have further examples of songs that only use the A, the D and the E chord. And there's, I think, around 15 song examples now at level 2 of my beginner's course at andyguitar.co.uk.
Wow. No, definitely did not play along to that. E, D, and A. Ooh. 8th strum. What does that mean? Play this tab. What is this? What is this? Why isn't chat showing here? Let's see. Yeah, but what's this supposed to be? Oh, chat was there the whole time. It was just hiding. Hello. Watch the video again. Like changing from A to D is just messed up. I gotta go bang. Then I gotta go bang. Then I gotta go bang. I gotta somehow go back to here. E major. Wait, even when he's playing A, his thumb's over. Well, I guess it helps keep it looking more parallel. And then, nah, G, that can't be right, G. I reckon we got it.
2, 3, 4.
Oh, frick. Goes fast.
Hi guys, my name's Andy Crowley and welcome to the playthrough or cover version of the song that we looked at in day 2 of my 10-day guitar course, which is Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. Now the original, to play along to the original record, you'll need a capo 2nd fret, but just in case any of you guys don't have a capo, I'm going to do it without a capo and we're going to be using the chords A and D major for this example. Now we have got the easy little lead line from this song, so if you wish, every time that I sing, basically the chorus, Born in the USA, you can play Born in the USA, but you can also just strum along with me and it's going to be cool. I'd really recommend at this point for most people just going for 4 strums per bar, so just 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you do feel a little bit more optimistic, we can go for down, 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 up, which is the one that I'll be playing just to give it a bit more rhythm, make it sound a little bit more up-tempo. But other than that, let's go for it. It is 4 bars of A and then 4 bars of D for the entire song, so most people following my channel should be able to have a really good go at playing along to me for this one. We're also going to start with that intro melody and we're going to play that 4 times as per the original and then get into the strumming. So let's begin with our little melody. You can learn it following the link on the screen or in the description below, but let's start this little playthrough. It's going to last about 3 minutes in total. Let's begin, and we begin on beat 2, so 1, 2. Let's give it a go. 1, 2. That's the first one. And the verse. 2, 3, 4. On down in the dead man's town. The first kick of silk was when I that, the change isn't slowing down your strumming hand. So that's totally fine if that's the case. We'll have one more playthrough now before we go along to trying to play this little lead line. But let's go again, and I'll kind of sing along a little bit so you can get how the song would go. Start from the A chord and join in with me in 2, 3, 4, 1. Born in the USA, I was third bar. 2, 3, 4, USA. Change chord to the D. Born in the USA, I was born in the USA. Back to the A chord. A. Born in the USA, I was A. Born in the USA. Change to D. D. Born in the USA, I was born in the USA. And pause there. And that's how you play that song. So hopefully it sounded a little bit more like how you recognise Born in the USA would go. But the most recognisable bit of this song is the riff. Now that is very recognisable as the riff. Born in the USA. And we're going to learn how to play that now. So we start off, again, I'm using a pick, but you can play this with just your thumb or even just your first finger and pluck each of the strings, which would be something called fingerstyle, and that's totally fine, but I'd recommend using a pick for now, just to start off with. So we pick the thinnest string once and let it ring out. Nice and easy. Then we ideally want to use our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string here. And that's the 2nd note. After that we go back to the open string. And when it's written above here in something called tab, that would be written 0 on the thinnest string, 3 on the 2nd thinnest string, and then 0 again on the thinnest. If you need more help about reading tab, the link is in the description to a video where I'll explain exactly how to read all these numbers that are suddenly on lines and look very scary, okay? Totally fine. If you've never come across it before, you'll probably be able to follow me here. But if you'd like to learn how to read tab, that video is there for you. So as a recap, we've gone 0, 3, 0, and the first one needs to ring out longer. Born in the other two are quicker. 4th note, first finger on the 2nd string just here. That would be U of USA. And then back to that 2nd note for S. So U, S, and then nice and easy open string finish. A. So we have 6 notes in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that can seem daunting at first, but if we put the lyrics to it, it does become an awful lot easier to get your head around. So we start off with born, born, thinnest string. In the. One more time with those 3 notes. 3, 4, born, in the. U is 2nd fret with your first finger. U, middle finger 3rd fret. S, A. Together again. 3, 4, born in the USA. Born in the USA. Born in the USA. And that repeats almost throughout the entire song. As I say, that sounds exactly like it when played on its own, and you can practice it like that, and it's entirely correct. However, so that you can do this along to the record and it sound correct to the original song, we need to place a capo at 2nd fret like this. This is a type of capo. There are many different ones available, and the recommendations are in the description in the video. But now we play everything proportionate to that second fret, so it sounds like this. This is now in the key of the original because we've hired the strings up. This basically clamps the strings down at second fret. This becomes first fret, this becomes second fret, and this third. Born in the USA. And then our two chords. Born in the USA. I was born in the USA. I was. Those two chords are played like this, missing out this first fret, starting from the second fret, playing the A and the D like this. And that is the end of day 2 of this 10-day guitar starter course. Please do join me tomorrow.
Damn. Oh well. Right, already. And you can see the drop off. 6 million all the way to 3 million. And day 1 was like 27 million.
Ever wonder why so many people say they want to learn guitar, but very few actually learn to play? It's simple. Too many people try to learn with YouTube videos, and guess what? It doesn't work. YouTube seems like the perfect place to learn guitar. There are millions of free guitar videos. So what's
Someone's
the problem?
yapping about.
Hi guys, welcome to day 3 of my 10-day guitar starter course where we're checking out the easy 3-chord song 3 Little Birds by Bob Marley. So we've already covered the chords needed to play this song, the E, the A chord and the D chord. If you haven't checked out those chords yet, please do check out day 1 or 2 of this course where we'll cover those chords in depth. And let's get straight in for the close-up now for how to play 3 Little Birds by Bob Marley. So the chorus of this song should be very easy for most of you guys watching this video. We want to change between the A chord
Easy.
and the D chord. So very similar to what we did in day 2 of this 10-day guitar starter course. We just have the E major chord in the verse. But the chorus, so this first chord sequence, is 2 bars of the A chord. And if I just strummed on the beat, that would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Then we change to the D. And then back to a bar of A. So 2 A's, 1 bar of D, 1 bar of A. Just the demo first of all. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. And that repeats twice, and then we get on to a verse. Let's try with this one, because it is very similar to what we did in day 2. Let's try doing something we call 8th strumming, and we're going to do this all with down strums. So essentially, for 1 bar, rather than strumming 4 times, we're going to strum 8 and twice as fast. That looks like this. That's how we split the bar up now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Because we have to, in music, we can't just count to 8. We have to always count to 4 and count the offbeat as and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 bar of A would therefore sound like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So because this should be fairly easy for you, let's go straight for this harder strumming, get stuck into this easy song. And if you want to play along with me, I will shout out the changes for you, but we're strumming it around this tempo. 1 and 2. So ready on that A chord, everyone? Let's give this a go in 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and about a thing. 2, change to the D, 'cause every little 2 and 3. Back to an A chord. 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's have one more go at that same
Damn,
line.
I was
It
not
happens
counting.
twice for this chorus. 3 and 4. Don't worry too about a thing. 2 and 3 and D, 'cause every little thing. Back to an A. once, twice, straight away on the bounce. If the change was a little hard to you, just pause the video briefly to do some individual changes. Strumming the A chord, changing to the D. Give it a strum, change back to the A. If you're unfamiliar with this change, check out day 2 where I explain how to play these chords in depth and why we're playing this version of an A rather than the 3 in a line A that some of you may be more familiar with. The idea is this anchor finger basically. So let's go for this one more time. We're basically going for the same line again, but we're going straight for both lines, and I'll kind of sing the chorus so you get an idea of how it all fits together, and we'll learn the verse. So same again, 2 and 3 and 4, don't worry. 2 and 3, louder thing, and 2 and 3, to a D chord, everything okay. Back to an A chord there, and 2, we stay on the A, don't worry. 2 and 3 and 4, a B, and 2 and to a D, 'cause every little thing. Back to an A, and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Grammarly has been a
That
huge
was
help to
terrible.
helping me get better grades and saving me lots of time. Grammarly is an AI-powered writing tool that can help.
Perfect. That is how to play the chord.
The bird is that perfect.
Bang. Bang. Bang.
If you're unfamiliar with this change, check out day 2 where I explain how to play these chords in depth and why we're playing this version of an A rather than the 3 in a line A that some of you may be more familiar with. The idea is this anchor finger basically. So let's go for this one more time. We're basically going for the same line again, but we're going straight for both lines, and I'll kind of sing the chorus so you get an idea of how it all fits together, and we'll learn the verse. So same again, 2 and 3 and 4. Don't worry too about a thing. And 2 and 3 to a D chord. Every little thing. Back to an A chord there. And 2. We stay on the A. Don't worry too. And 3 and 4 a thing. And 2 and 3 to a D. 'Cause every little thing. Back to an A. And 2 and 3 and 4 and. Perfect. That is how to play the chorus. We then have a verse, which is this next section I'm about to show you, and then we go back to a chorus. Typical song structure usually starts with a verse, then goes to chorus, verse, chorus, but this one starts straight away with the chorus, which is why we did that first. The verse, a little bit trickier, because we do also change to this E chord, but we're going to start off with the A. I'll just give you a little demo of it first. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little A chords, then to a D chord. So that's the first line. The second line is really similar, but we're going to change. Every chord here is for a bar. A, E, A, and D. The way I kind of like to think about it with these chord sequences is A chord is kind of in the middle, so then we come to the thicker strings, then back to the middle, and then to D, which is on the thinner strings for this one. So if you remember middle, thicker strings, middle, then high, it can be easier than trying to remember the letter names. Remember what your fingers are doing to remember a longer chord sequence, and it helps you visualize it. So let's play this together. I'll shout out the chord sequence, but it's also on the screen for you if you need it. From the A chord, straight for 8th strumming. I'm sure you can do this, guys. Keep going with me. 2 and 3 and 4 and morning. Smile with the rising sun. 3 and 2 and A chord, 2 and 3 and then a D chord, 2 and 3 and. Pause there. Let's go one more time for that one, guys. Really good if you've kept up with that, but let's do it one more time to make sure. In 2 and 3 and rise up this morning. E chord, chord 2, 3, A chord there, and 2 and 3. On my doorstep, 2 and 3 and 4 and then it's almost the same, but the D and the A chord are swapped around for the last 2 bars. So it's a bar of A, E, straight to a D chord, and then back to A. So just the last 2 chords swapped around.
A, E. Wow, I'm not coordinated enough with that. A, E, A, oh, so A technically is just the slide and the rooting of it. D, A, D, A, E, A, E, A, E, A, D. Like D feels so uncomfortable. How do people hold it? Some people hold it normally, or like. Yeah, they're not squishing too hard. They've only got a bit of space. As long as it touches the thing though. Oh, this is a 7-minute lesson on how to play one chord.
I own a roadhouse. Lately, it's been attracting the wrong clientele. Is there a hospital nearby? I just thought you were alright.
Peace.
Okay, here we are for our look at our first chord. This is it. This is D. And this is the first chord that we're going to be learning in this little course. So what we're going to do whenever we learn a new chord, we're always going to do it one finger at a time. And we're going to start always with our first finger, then the second finger, then the third finger, then the fourth finger if we need it. So what I want you to do is just have a little look at that neck diagram. And we're looking for where the first finger goes. Now, the first finger you'll see is there on the third string, because we start from the thinner string. So 1, 2, 3, third string, and it's in the second fret. So double lines on the neck diagram, that's the nut there. This would be the first fret, this would be the second fret. So the first finger, the correct position is right here where you're watching it right now. Now make sure as well that you remember that the finger needs to be quite close to the fret, not like right back here, that would be bad. So up fairly close to the fret, not on top of it, that'll be bad too. So kind of just back here a little bit.
Why is
That's
on
the
top
first
of the
finger out of the way.
fret?
Also remembering that we're using the tip of our finger, don't try and put your finger down too flat. You're really thinking just on the very tips of your fingers there is the bit that should be holding the string down. Now if we look at the second finger, you'll notice that one is in the same fret as the first finger.
I get the inclination from my thumb here, as if I'm playing cello.
And again, making sure that you're using the tip of your finger there. That one shouldn't be too hard to put down. Now,
They
the
got
last
that
one,
thumbs in it.
third finger. Now, third finger is going in the third fret of the second string, so the string in between the ones where the other two fingers are on. So, and you can, just a good way of helping remember this as well is that it kind of looks like a D. If you look at the
How do they
shape
bend
of
their
it, it
fingers?
looks a bit like a D, so that might help. Anyway, the thing that you might find out is that the third finger is falling right back here at the back of the fret, and really we want to get that third finger right up as close to the fret as we stretch it up, that's okay. But try and get used to that stretch and try and get your fingers in a really good position right from the beginning. Now what's really important when you're doing your chords is that you check that every note in the chord sounds really good, because that's the way that you'll make sure that your chords sound great right from the beginning and you won't develop any bad habits. So if you have a look at that neck diagram again, the thickest two strings have both got an X at the top, which means that we don't play them. So what we're starting on, the first note we're going to be picking is the 4th string. Now generally what I say to people is to do a strum, pick out the strum. So starting from the 4th string, that's the kind of the 3rd thickest string, we do a strum first. And if you're doing really well, it'll sound like that. If you're not doing so well, it might sound like this. Something like that, yeah? So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and tailor the chord and make sure that every note is sounding good. And I'm going to show you where some of the problem areas are for a lot of people. So, the first thing, the 4th string. If that one's not ringing out very clearly, then probably the tip of your first finger is touching that string. So make sure that you bring your first finger down just a little bit so you get a nice clear 4th string. Now we're on to the 3rd string, which is the one that's got our first finger on it. That one should sound nice and clear there. And if that one's not working, like not a nice clear note, a couple of things could be the culprit. Most likely, your 3rd finger is up too high, is touching that 3rd string. So you just have to move that 3rd finger down a little bit, and you should get that string ringing nicely. If it's buzzing a little bit, like that, probably your first finger's backwards a little bit too far. So make sure it's right up nice and close to the fret. Now we're on to this note here, which is the 2nd string with the 3rd finger. Most people don't have a problem with that note, actually, to tell the truth. If it's too buzzy, like that, it's because it's too far back from the fret. You might find it sounds like that. So if you get it right up next to the fret, you'll get it sounding nice. Now the hardest note for most people here is this one here with the 2nd finger. Now the reason that most people find this hard is because the 3rd finger tends to lay down a little bit too flat and mute the thinner string. So a lot of people get this as their first D chord. Yeah, and the reason is simply here underneath the 3rd finger is touching the thinner string. So you've got to arch those around a little bit. Make sure they're right on the tips, and that'll allow that string here to ring out nicely. Now, it's definitely worth spending a little bit of time now on trying to get your D chord so it sounds really, really cool. Doing exactly what I just showed you there of strum. Pick out the notes one at a time and then adjust your fingers to make sure that each one sounds good. So you might go...
Yeah, I guess I never had to play it. Not really well, I just never how to. Can I not put my thumb on this? But I'm on the guitar, and I can put my thumb. Yeah, whatever. We'll take a break. IT chat not working. I don't see why it wouldn't be working. Oh, bad Wi-Fi, I guess. Yeah, I can never see the chat box. Can never see the chat box. I can see my own chat box. Right? No, I think it's just your YouTube. Yeah, I feel like I can see the chat box. Oh, what was the problem? Should I keep trying to learn? Actually, yeah. How about we just finish day 3? Then we'll take a break.
It's on the screen for you. Let's try and go for this straight away from the A chord.
Oh, frick, no, I can't do this. Okay, let me just try to do it without the 8 thing on it. So. How do people curve their fingers? Back to A. To D. A. E. What was the guy saying? You're broke again. My first hour learning. What is this guy yapping about? EM CG. It's oh yeah, it's easy. What does that even mean? Ultimately trust E-Mage. Is E major not just E? Or was it a bit different? Plus E major, E minor. Ooh, bro, what is it? E major is what I've been doing, I think. And then minor, you just go down one. And you don't start at the top. What the frick is this guy talking about? I don't know the theory, I just play. No. What else was he yapping about? What's C and G? Ew. Oh, actually, it doesn't look too bad. C1. I think going from C to E sounds pretty easy because you just change your index finger. Oh, frick. I'm actually not coordinated enough. Like, I can't lift my index finger without the others not lifting as well. That's how uncoordinated I am. That's crazy. Oh no, but you have to. If you switch to E, you gotta switch these fingers around. Oh. Wasn't the trash as well? No way. Oh, chat's working. What bouldering colour I do? I think I've done. Have I done? At 9 degrees. I do. I forget.
Second line. 3 and 4 and.
Wait, did you just start?
D chord, bigger change. Let's give this a bit more time. There we go. D chord.
Oh, he went from E straight to D.
A chord.
What the frick? What a jump.
And then we would be straight into the chorus, but we're just going to go for that one more time. So let's go for the whole thing, the whole verse.
I thought it would be universal colouring. Universal colouring? Oh, actually that's pretty bad regex, if you include the question mark. Whatever. It goes yellow, blue, purple, green, orange. Oh, bro doesn't even have pink. 9 degrees, grading. I think would be. Wait, what? Each level represented by a different color. Yeah. This is what our colors was at 9 degrees. Can I click on this? 9 degrees grading to V. Yeah, V5. Yeah, there's a 9 degrees in Brisbane. No idea what. So V5 is red. Went the first time yesterday. Hands are going. Why am I typing? I think you can hear me. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Look at this study between climber height. Grades and grade conversion. Yes, please. What the frick? Beginner? F5 Saxon. Russian. What does that even mean? D. Eric, you kind. Who? I can't read it because the heart's in the way. Kind of cracked. What the? How do you do pink? Nah, pink's not cracked. I don't think so. Oh. And then, yeah, I've never done an orange or whatever, red. Nah, I don't know, some of them, like, you can do some hacks. Like, I remember one of them, like, the climb was, like, you had to hold on, like, a really weak one, and, like, one of them was, a weak one here, and there was, like, a strong one here. And, like, you're meant to grab on the weak one or something, but then instead you could just hold on your own arm, and then, like, pull yourself up. It was so hacks. And that's how I did my first pink. Did it stream it? What the heck? Oh, I thought I said it ended. Whatever.
I'll shout
Time
out
to
the
die.
chord as it comes to you, and we'll pause a little bit on the changes to make sure everyone can keep up. From the A chord, top of the verse, in 2 and 3, and rise up this morning. 2 and 4, E chord, rising sun. 3 little A chord, then to a D, on my doorstep.
Oh, what the frick?
Back to an A chord, second line. Sweet song with melodies. E chord, pure and true. D chord this time, singing. D.
Oh, what the frick?
Message to A, and that's the end of our verse. Ever wonder why so many people say they want to learn guitar but very few actually learn to play? It's simple.
I don't even want to learn guitar. I just have a guitar.
Full playthrough now. We want to play through the chorus, come to the verse, and then end on that chorus. And that is absolutely plenty for this song. But there is another couple of verses as well if you want to keep that pattern going. It's always the same, even if the lyrics change in a verse, it's the same chord sequence, so you're counted the same. Let's have a playthrough then, full playthrough from the top now. I'll sing a little bit, but I'll also shout out the chords to make it easy for you. Join in with me from your A chord, straight into a chorus. In 1, 2, 3, and 4. Don't worry. Fast, stay on the A chord. Then it's a D. Go. First D chord. Back to an A. A.
Oh, we go back to A?
Start again. Don't worry.
What does it say? Patty Sunflower. Someone's saying. Patty Sunflower.
Hi guys, welcome to day 3 of my 10-day guitar starter course where we're checking out the easy
14 years ago. That's a while. Give me 2 days and I'm doing that. Let's see. We got that E? What does that sound? Is he just hitting it? This guy starts playing with one hand. Stamping index on the guitar. What? How's he making that sound? The guy's for nah, 2 days. I'm as good as this guy. Trust me, G. Has he not cut his nails? Is that like the strap for your right hand? You don't cut your nails, and with your left hand you cut your nails. I teach you how harmonics Eric. Sounds cool. What do you mean? I don't even know what harmonics are. Isn't it just when the frequency of the wave is a multiple or something? What's making that sound? It sounds so trash. The left hand of a 9th fret. 3, 5, 9. Okay. Now what? I imagine the comments are going crazy. But I'm not good enough to even appreciate it. On the line. Okay. Is it 9? Yeah, it's the one with the third dot. I think. Maybe. Nah, search it up, it's easy. It's actually 13, so just 12 plus 1. Forgot. Oh, slash guitar. I'm gonna play one step closer. Put your finger on the string, but don't push it. Let it slightly touch. Fingers need to be right above the fret wire, usually at 5, 7 or 12. Not 12. Do not hold your finger to the string after you cut. Oh, is the harmonic the do the 12th fret run? Okay. Stop. Okay, let's see a video.
If you do not want to progress on guitar in the fastest way possible, then I want you to hit the skip button and skip.
What? How do you do that? Whoa, hold on. No, you just strum. You hold your finger over 12th and just strum. Do I hold it hard? Oh, that's not bad. It doesn't hurt as much as well. I'm gonna lie to you. But you let the fingers left hand off when you strum as soon as there is a sound. What do you mean as soon as there's a sound? Let go when you strum. Yeah, no, sounds nice. I don't know about nice.
Harmonics are a great way to add variety and spice to the song. In fact, there's a Zeppelin song that features harmonics at the beginning, and I just cannot remember the name right now. Nonetheless, it's an awesome technique. And in this lesson, I'm going to share with you the 3 crucial things that you need to have in place to have awesome harmonics. And stick around to the end, I'm going to show you a great way to use harmonics in a very
that sounds right.
way. All that right after this. This acoustic guitar quick win is brought to you by Tony'sAcousticChallenge.com. I'm Tony Policastro from Tony'sAcousticChallenge.com, where we're all about expanding our quality of life through music and having as much fun as possible with our acoustic guitar.
This guitar's so weird.
Today, I want to
Like
talk about
you know how they have dots? The dots are like on the side here instead of like in the front. Because it's easy to look at since you see the dots.
Well, natural harmonics
Like from
are
this
located
angle.
actually all over the string, but there's 3 very common locations. The first is at the 12th fret. The second location is at the 7th fret, and the last and final location is at the 5th fret. Now, I listed those in ascending order, or rather ascending order.
That's trash.
The 12th fret harmonics are relatively easy to hit. It's the halfway point of the string, so it's easy to get the note and easy to get good sound out of them. And then the 7th fret are a little bit more difficult. And then the 5th fret are notoriously hard because you have to have your finger in the exact right spot. That's your first tip, is know your location. The second is have your fretting finger.
That doesn't sound like that.
Position your fretting finger in the right spot. Well, we're in the right spot to achieve a natural harmonic.
And that guitar looks cool.
Directly over
Yeah, it's not bad.
fret. So let's look at the 12th
Like I don't know.
I want to hit these harmonics on the 12th fret. And I want to have my middle finger, ring finger, doesn't matter which finger you use, you want to be touching the string but not fretting the string. Okay, so you're just touching the string right over the fret. Literally, the metal fret, that's vertical here, you want your finger directly over that fret. Not behind, not in front of. Because if you're in front of it, you're not going to get harmonics. And if you're behind it,
That's not bad.
get harmonics. However, if you're directly over it and you're slightly touching the string,
Ooh.
you'll get wonderful sounding harmonics.
It's probably
In fact,
because of the
it's a quick
distance
way
of the
to
string.
Find out where the harmonics are. With one finger on the high E string, you can start way behind the fret and then slowly move forward. And you can hear it kind of sink in. So if you're having a hard time finding out where those harmonics are, go ahead and do that little troubleshooting technique and it'll help you out a ton. And that particular, that fretting hand position is true for
what
the 7th fret
the?
and the 5th fret. You want to be
That's for the
touching string,
12th.
Not fretting it, not bringing it to the fretboard, but just touching the string directly over your intended fret.
5th and 7th as well.
Fret the 12th fret, directly over the 12th fret.
You can practice with just one string, so just pluck that string. Yeah, fair enough.
7th fret,
now you know the locations, you know how to make the harmonics with your fretting hand, but the last and final tip is how to optimize your harmonics so that they sound good and ring out loud and clear. And of course, finding the position is half the battle there. But once you have that position, how do you make them sound even better? Well, there's a little trick I like to use, and it actually involves pulling my finger away from the string after I ring the harmonic. So I'm going to just use that high E string, and I'm going to barely touch that high E string over the 12th fret. With my picking hand, I'm going to strike the string. It's a good sounding harmonic. I just left my finger right on the string. But to optimize your harmonic, once you pluck the string, remove your fretting finger. And you'll get a really nice ringing, open sounding harmonic. You can do that for any of the fret positions on the 12th fret,
My finger makes a sound when I let go.
all the way to the 5th fret. And actually, I just stumbled on a nice little tip that I wanted to offer. It takes a little bit of timing to get that down. So at first, if you're struggling even making the harmonics, leave your finger down. But once you're consistently making good harmonics, start to practice removing that fretting finger so that you get those nice, open, ringing tones, which harmonics are so incredibly awesome at. Now, one more thing. I've got a little bonus for you, a little secret, a little guitar ninja trick, if you will. Harmonics are great for spicing up a song. You can add really cool atmospheric sounds. You can end a song really tastefully. You can begin a song really elegantly. But there's actually a great utility that harmonics serve. Let's say your clip-on tuner is nowhere to be found, but you know your low E string is in tune. You can use harmonics to tune your guitar even more exactly than just by fretting your guitar and doing relative tuning. The standard way to relative tune your guitar is to hold down the 5th fret of the low E string and match it to the A string. And then the same for the A and the D. Same for the D and the G. A little different between the G and the B. We're going to fret the 4th fret of the G string and match that to our open B string. And then the B and the high is back to the 5th fret. So that's all well and good, but harmonics give us a little bit more of an exact measure, gauge, if you will, to tune. So we can hit the 5th fret harmonic on the low E string and match it to the 7th fret harmonic on the A string. That'll sound like this. And then the same is true for the A and the D. 5th fret
What is it talking
harmonic on
about?
the A, 7th fret harmonic on the D, and match that to our open B string. And then the B and the high E is back to the 5th fret. So that's all well and
You have
good.
to play all the
Harmonics
fifths with
give
this.
us a little bit more of an exact measure, gauge, if you will, to tune. So we can hit the 5th fret harmonic on the low E string and match it to the 7th fret harmonic on the A string. That'll sound like this.
Huh?
And then the same is true for the A and the D. 5th fret harmonic on the A, 7th fret harmonic on the D.
7th fret harmonic on the D.
You'll be able to hear the overtones much clearer when you use the harmonic. And the same is true
Bro, what is he
for the
talking
E
about?
and the G string. 5th fret on the D, 7th fret on the G.
Yappa,
It's a nice
yappa,
cool
yappa.
little utility trick so that you can use your natural harmonic. Now, I hope you totally dug this lesson, and I hope it created light bulb moments for you. In fact, at the beginning, I mentioned a Led Zeppelin song that uses harmonics, and I still cannot remember the name of it. So if you happen to know the name of that tune in particular, please leave it in the comments below. And speaking of comments, let me know what you thought of the lesson down below. Did I forget something that was awesome for other guitar players to know? Go ahead and leave it in the comments. Let me know what you thought. And if you like this lesson, I know that you're absolutely going to love my 5-day music guitar challenge. This is such a cool challenge because you're going to learn new techniques. Sign up. It takes less for your very first acoustic guitar challenge.
Nixie Gaming. Nice. I guess Vietnamese people like this song. So I sold the guitar. Respect. Comments 8 years. Damn. Is this guy still playing? One month ago. Oh, I still play. But he peaked. Oh, maybe it's a Vietnamese guy. Live in Vietnam. Who knows? Yeah, now fingers are hurting. It's time for me to dip.